What if I told you that a single thought, not an action, not a plan, but one thought could rewrite your entire reality? That's exactly what Jim Carrey did before he became one of the most successful actors in the world. He didn't wait for success. He programmed it, using what scientists now call the quantum mindset. You've probably heard it before. Think positive, believe in yourself, visualize success. But let's be honest, most people try that and nothing changes. They say the words, they dream big, and still wake up in the same routine, the same job, the same limits. So what made Jim Carrey different? How did a broke comedian, living in his car, turn pure imagination into a $10 million paycheck, years before it was real? This isn't just motivation, it's quantum. And once you understand how it works, your life, your future, will never look the same again. In the late 1980s, Jim Carrey was struggling. He'd moved to Los Angeles with nothing but a dream, and that dream was fading fast. He couldn't pay his bills. He'd drive to the Hollywood Hills at night and stare at the city lights, wondering why success felt so close, yet completely out of reach. One night, he made a strange decision, one that sounded almost crazy. He wrote himself a check for $10 million. He dated it 5 years in the future, and in the memo line he wrote, "For acting services rendered." Then he put that check in his wallet. Every day he'd look at it, not as a fantasy but as a fact, as something that had already happened in another version of reality, and he was just aligning himself with it. That, right there, is the quantum mindset. Quantum physics teaches us something that sounds impossible. Reality doesn't exist in one fixed form. It exists in probabilities, waves of potential. When you observe something, when you focus on it, when you expect it, those waves collapse into a single outcome. This is called the observer effect. In simple terms, your focus is the switch that turns potential into reality. Jim wasn't just daydreaming. He was collapsing a future reality into the present through belief, focus, and emotion. For 5 years, he trained his mind to live as if the $10 million had already come. He visualized the feeling of receiving it. He drove the same car, walked the same streets, but his frequency had changed. He wasn't chasing success anymore. He was matching it. And then, right before Thanksgiving, 1995, he got the call. He was cast in Dumb and Dumber. His payment? $10 million. The date? Exactly 5 years after he wrote the check. Coincidence? Maybe. But quantum scientists would say otherwise. They'd say that by holding that vision, he tuned his energy into a version of reality where it already existed. And reality, quite literally, rearranged itself around him. Here's the secret most people miss. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Every thought sends out a signal. Every emotion is a frequency. When those two match, when your belief and your emotion align, you begin to resonate with that outcome. In the quantum field, everything already exists. Wealth, success, peace, love, all as possibilities. The version of you that already has what you desire isn't out there. It's waiting for you to tune in. That's what Jim did. He stopped asking, "When will it happen?" He started saying, "It's already done." And here's where it gets powerful. This isn't just for celebrities or special people. This is physics. It's available to you. You can start by choosing one thought, one future version of yourself, and living as if it's real now. You don't need proof. You are the proof. The moment you stop waiting for reality to change and start being the version who already has what you want, you activate the same energy that turned Jim Carrey's check into cash. But here's the thing, visualization alone isn't enough. Most people get stuck between belief and doubt. They send mixed signals to the quantum field, and that scrambles the outcome. Because the truth is, you don't wait for miracles. You become them. So, how do you actually do it? How do you turn a dream, something invisible, into something you can touch, spend, and live inside of? Because it's one thing to hear Jim Carrey's story, but it's another to realize you can do the same thing, starting today. And here's where it gets even stranger. You've already done it, you just didn't realize it. Every single moment, your mind is sending and receiving frequencies, like a radio tuner. You can't see the waves, but they're everywhere. Change the station, and you change the music. That's what the quantum mindset is. It's not about forcing the world to change. It's about tuning your consciousness to the version of reality that already contains what you desire. Think of it like this. Right now, there are dozens of radio stations broadcasting through the air. Rock, jazz, news, classical, all at once. You don't create them. You tune in. Reality works the same way. There are infinite versions of you, rich, peaceful, confident, joyful, all vibrating at different frequencies. And your focus is the dial. Let's take another real-world story, one that didn't start in Hollywood. Meet Ava, a 29-year-old graphic designer from Chicago. She'd been stuck in the same loop for years. Low-paying clients, endless stress, and a constant feeling of being just average. Every morning, she'd wake up with that pit in her stomach, wondering if she'd ever make it out. Then one day, she came across a clip of Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist who studies how thoughts create measurable changes in the brain. He said something that hit her like lightning. Your personality creates your personal reality. In other words, your thoughts, emotions, and habits, the energy you live in, shape the world you see. Ava decided to test it. For 30 days, she made one change. Every morning, before checking her phone, she sat quietly and imagined herself living her dream life. Not just seeing it, feeling it. The joy, the confidence, the gratitude. She let that emotion fill her body like electricity. At first, nothing seemed to change. But inside her, something was rewiring. She started acting differently, showing up differently, speaking differently. And then the calls started coming. First one big client, then another. Within 6 months, she'd tripled her income and couldn't even explain how it happened. But here's the thing, it didn't come to her. She came into alignment with it. Neuroscientists now know your brain doesn't just record the past, it predicts the future. It's a quantum simulator, constantly testing possibilities and choosing which one becomes real. When you repeat the same thoughts and emotions every day, your brain locks onto the same frequency, replaying the same outcomes. That's why so many people feel stuck. They're broadcasting yesterday's signal, expecting tomorrow to change. But the moment you feel differently, even without external proof, the brain begins to rewire. New neural pathways form, new signals broadcast, and your reality starts catching up to your new identity. That's not magic. That's measurable neuroscience. Imagine reality as a mirror. Most people stand in front of it, frowning, saying, "I'll smile when the mirror smiles back." But that's not how mirrors work. You have to smile first. Then, and only then, does the reflection change. That's the paradox of the quantum mindset. You become the energy before you see the evidence. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to think positive, but deep down, they're still broadcasting doubt. And doubt scrambles the signal. It's like trying to listen to 2 radio stations at once. You just hear static. So how do you hold the right frequency long enough for reality to shift? Here's a simple 3-step process used by quantum coaches and neuroscientists alike. Observe your current signal. Notice what emotions dominate your day. Fear, boredom, lack? That's the vibration you're broadcasting. Rehearse the new state. Spend 5 minutes imagining your desired future as if it's happening now. See it, feel it, anchor it with gratitude. Act from that frequency. Make one small decision each day that matches the version of you who's already there. Maybe it's how you speak, what you wear, how you treat others. It doesn't matter. Every action is a signal to the universe that says, "I'm ready." When you start living from that frequency, life begins to rearrange itself around you. Opportunities show up. Ideas flow. Coincidences that aren't coincidences start appearing. And you realize something profound. The future doesn't come to you. You tune into it. But what happens when resistance hits? When fear, doubt, or your old self starts to pull you back? That's the real test, and it's where most people fall off the path. Because the moment you master your internal frequency, you stop chasing reality, and reality starts chasing you. So far, we've explored how Jim Carrey and countless others use the quantum mindset to rise from nothing, how thoughts become frequencies, and how emotions collapse potential into reality. But here's the real question. Once you awaken that power, how do you keep it alive? How do you stay aligned when life pulls you back? When bills pile up, people doubt you, and your old identity whispers, "See, nothing's changed." This is where transformation becomes real. Because the quantum mindset isn't about escaping reality. It's about reprogramming it. Every transformation has a test. Jim Carrey had years of rejection before the world finally saw him. Ava from Part 2 nearly gave up halfway through, when her new life still looked exactly like the old one. That moment of doubt? That's the edge of transformation. It's where most people quit, but where the quantum shift actually begins. Think of it like a rocket launch. It burns the most fuel in the first few minutes, fighting against gravity. Once it breaks free of the pull, it starts gliding effortlessly. Your gravity is your old mindset. Your resistance isn't proof that it's not working. It's proof that it is. Now, imagine if you could break that gravity for good. What would your life look like 6 months from now? Here's the truth. You don't need to meditate on a mountain or chant in silence for hours. You just need to practice consistency and consciousness. Small, daily shifts in energy that tell the universe and your subconscious, this is who I am now. Because reality doesn't change when you want something. It changes when you embody it. So here are 5 practical steps to anchor your new frequency and make your quantum shift stick. Step 1. The morning frequency reset. The moment you wake up, your brain is in a theta state, halfway between dream and reality. That's your window to reprogram your subconscious. Before you touch your phone or replay yesterday's worries, close your eyes. Visualize your day from the end result. See everything flowing smoothly. Feel gratitude before anything happens. That simple morning emotion sends a powerful signal. I already have it. And the universe echoes that signal back. Step 2. Quantum journaling. Write from the future. Don't just wish for your dream life. Document it as if it already exists. Write entries like, I'm so grateful for the opportunities flowing to me. I feel so calm and confident sharing my ideas. Money finds me through joy, not struggle. When you do this, your brain begins to accept it as truth. Neural patterns shift. You start noticing and creating evidence that matches the words you've written. It's not fantasy writing. It's frequency writing. Step 3. Act from identity, not circumstance. Every time you make a decision, ask, what would the future me do right now? Would they panic? Would they procrastinate? Or would they move with calm certainty, trusting the process? When you act from the identity you want instead of the situation you're in, you bridge timelines. You become the cause, not the effect. Step 4. Emotional alchemy, transmute resistance. Here's where the real mastery happens. When fear, doubt, or frustration shows up, don't fight it. Instead, feel it, acknowledge it, and breathe through it. Energy only transforms when it's accepted. Say to yourself, this emotion isn't a setback. It's energy becoming available for my next level. Suddenly, pain becomes fuel, and resistance turns into propulsion. Before bed, close the loop of your day. Ask yourself 3 questions. What did I appreciate today? How did I show up as my future self? What can I release before tomorrow? This keeps your frequency clear and aligned. Because the person you're becoming needs mental space, not mental clutter. Before living this way, life feels heavy. You react to circumstances. You chase results. You measure worth by outcomes. After, you radiate results. You stop chasing and start attracting. You wake up calm, inspired, and strangely magnetic. People notice the change before you do. Opportunities find you without effort. It's not luck. It's resonance. That's the power of a consciousness tuned to its highest frequency. But here's the most beautiful part. The quantum mindset doesn't give you a new life. It reveals the one that's been waiting for you all along. So ask yourself this. If reality is responding to your energy every moment, what are you broadcasting right now? Is it fear or possibility? Is it scarcity or gratitude? Because whatever you're vibrating, the universe is amplifying. The future isn't coming to you. It's waiting for you to tune in. If this message resonated with you, don't let it end here. Hit that like button to send out a signal of alignment. Comment below what you're ready to manifest next. Let's make it real together. And subscribe for more deep dives into quantum mindset, conscious transformation, and future reality creation. Because your mind isn't just a thinker, it's a creator. And every thought is shaping your universe.